Hey, I'm Rudy Smith. I'm the creator of Reanimated Studios and creator of this movie. I wanted to make a promo for Reanimated Studios just to give myself a name and, confirm that, I'm out there, I'm making movies, and so people can recognize my work and I can keep track of how I grow as an artist. Now, this movie I made for becoming an RA. In the last part of the interview, you need to have a 5 to 10 minute visual presentation, and so I decided to make a movie, more of a documentary than a movie. Like this opening segment, I wanted to have like this, like God Among Men sort of montage thing going on to like overly praise myself to make it look ridiculous and funny. This little montage of what makes an RA is half I wanted an excuse to use Rainbow Six music, and half, playing to the RD's sense of this is a perfect world and perfect organization. You should be doing this at all times and in all places. So I decided to, play to their needs and play to my needs at the same time, and still keep it ridiculous. This segment right here, actually all these segments, quite random. There's Josh being the bandito. These are all my friends. I pretty much just recruited them into making this movie because they had nothing better to do and I needed help. Thanks guys for, helping out with everything. This segment, I was actually inspired by Animaniacs, which used to have this kind of same exact concept with some of their skits, and I decided that it would be a cool idea if I applied it in this movie in funny ways, but I only had an idea for 2 different examples for good idea and bad idea. What pissed me off is if you notice in the mirror, you can see the cameraman. That was a mistake I didn't notice until I was done editing and I compressed all of this into a movie the day of the interview. Because I had it done days beforehand, but I kept going over it and going over it and going over it, hoping I didn't miss something, correcting little things here and there. But I didn't notice that tiny-ass little detail until I compressed it to a movie, which meant I couldn't edit it anymore.
Hey! I know what you're thinking.
This part, at the time, I didn't remember where I got the idea from, but now I do. It's from Liar Liar. I originally thought it was hilarious, so I decided to incorporate it into that scene. This chase scene was my original concept for being the whole movie for being an RA, but that idea sort of fell through because it didn't quite make sense, it was harder to do, and it wouldn't make the minimum time requirement. So I decided to throw this in as a chase scene for dealing with phantom residents. What that means are residents that exist in the dorms on paper, but you almost never see them in person, so they're really hard to get a hold of for letters, for floor meetings, and all that fun stuff. So I wanted to cut this in a way that it looked like one continuous shot, like from camera to camera. Apparently not. I know that it doesn't look like that at all, but that's what I was shooting for. I really wish there was more daylight for this, though. This last bit I threw in because I'm fat and I don't like running, so I decided to keep up the ridiculousness and, have him be clotheslined. This section right here was only designed to be a serious thing for the movie. This wasn't scripted at all. I just had my friends who were RAs sit in front of the camera and give their testimonials as to why I should be an RA. This is not scripted at all. I told them exactly what I wanted them to answer in the scene, and these are their words. And, you know, since people get nervous in front of cameras, I had to edit it so that their moments of silence would go to somebody else, pretty much like every other documentary I've ever seen. And, you know, to keep the fluidity with it.
He shows a lot of responsibility, and he has a lot of faith and goodwill towards his peers.
Rudy Smith should be an RA because he's a very trustworthy guy.
Yeah, the reason why Josh sounds really out of breath right here was because, like, no more than 30 seconds before he sat down and did this shot, he was quite literally jumping off the walls and, you know, running around. And he just sat down and said, "Alright, let's do this." I'm like, "Dude, you're gonna sound out of breath." He's like, "I don't care, let's just go." I'm like, "Alright, whatever." That's why he sounds way the hell out of breath for this. The RDs just thought that he was out of breath from running in the previous chase scene.
Already, he's like one of the best.
I think Rudy should be an RA because he doesn't take any crap from anybody. I see a lot of people coming out of New Hall when he's on his SSA.
SSA is the student security aide that sit in front of a desk and check people into the buildings. I wanted to keep this serious, but then go back to funny. As I was filming this, Josh said that, like, as I walked away, he's like, "And cue Hulk theme." I'm like, I have that. I'm gonna use it. But I originally wanted to keep it serious, you know, to let the RDs know that I do have a sense of humor, but I won't screw around with the job. And that's pretty much the movie. This is not intended to be this long, the credits, I mean. This is just the default speed that Windows Media Player put for the credits, and I was too lazy to change it. So I let it roll for a while. That, and I liked the music, so I just let that play through to the credits. Stuntmen, even though running isn't really considered a stunt. Matt and Josh, these guys are awesome. Camera crew was pretty much anyone, like, I recruited to hold the camera that wasn't me because I was in the scene. So those guys helped out really well. Considering I did everything that was on the cutting boards, I gave credit to myself for doing all that. This is the music that I used. Some of the these aren't, like, completely accurate as to the artist. This is just as accurate as I could get. Please don't sue me. Yeah, all the RAs were really good with giving me advice on how to, like, cater to the RD's expectations. And Matt fell on his own. That was not a real clothesline. And this was us just, you know, goofing around with the interviews. Because they're like, yeah, I'm gonna, like, tell the RDs, like, you're a horrible person, you know. So, yeah. Thank you for listening to my commentary. I only did this because I was bored and felt like explaining some stuff. And you should expect to see more stuff from me when I get inspired. So, I'll catch you guys later. This is Rudy Smith with Reanimated Studios.